Now, when you have the quotient rule, you're going to handle it the same way. You divide, so you're going to subtract those exponents, and then you'll rewrite it if it's a negative. 4 minus 6 will give us h to the negative 2, which means we could rewrite that as 1 over h squared, just like everything else. Now, one advantage of the quotient rule is you can cancel out the common factors and just write down what's left, and it'll be in the right spot. So, for example, on number 11, they both have at least 4 h's, right? H to the fourth, h to the sixth. So we can cancel out those 4 h's. When I cancel out 4 h's on the bottom, I'd have 2 left. So it would just get to your final answer a little bit quicker. So let's try this on number 12. Negative 2 minus 7 would be negative 9, or we can take these negative 2's, put it with that 7 to make it 9, so it would just be 1 over k to the 9th. Number 13, when you have coefficients, divide those numbers first. 14 divided by 7 is 2, or 2 over 1. We have w to the fourth and w to the negative 2. 4 minus negative 2 will give us w to the 6th. That is on the top, so we don't have to rewrite. On the next one, divide your coefficients first. Negative 24 divided by 3 is negative 8. 5 minus negative 2 will give me a positive 7, so that's going to stay on the top. So is negative x to the 7th. The only time you got to put it on the bottom of the fraction if it's negative. Now, on number 15, when you see we've got multiple letters, you still handle it the same way. Let's try this using the cancel method. I have 2 b's on top and 2 b's on bottom, so guess what? All of my b's are going to cancel. I have 1 c on top, 5 on the bottom. 1 minus 5 is 4, so what's going to be left is the 4 c's on the bottom. Whenever things cancel out, put in the number 1 to hold the place. I want you to try number 16 real quick. Push pause on the video until you've tried it and got an answer. Push play when you're ready to see my answer. Push pause now. Alright, so let's start with the x's. 4 minus 2 is positive 2, so I get x squared, and that's on top. Negative 3 minus 2 more is negative 5, so it's going to go to the bottom, and we'll write it as y to the 5th. If you use the cancel method, I have at least 2 x's on both, so I cancel out 2 here. When I cancel 2 here from the 4, I have 2 left, x squared on top. Negative 3, when I cancel out 3 negatives on the top and put it on the bottom, we actually get 5, so y to the 5th on the bottom. The rest of these are going to come out relatively the same methods in the same ways. Let's flip over to the back so we can finish our notes. Now, on these ones, we have multiple things going on. So get 22. I've got to do the product rule, multiply that out, then the quotient rule. So, starting on the top, 6 times 5 is 30. A to the 3rd times a to the 9th, we add those. 3 plus 9 is 12, so a to the 12th. Now look at the bottom, I have negative 12, a to the 14th. Divide your numbers. I can divide 6 out of both of those. I'd get 5 over negative 2. For the letters, I had 12 on top, 14 on bottom, so when I take out 12, the a's on the top cancel, and I'd have 2 a's left on the bottom, so a to the 2nd. Now, number 23, we have the power rule, then the product rule, then the quotient rule. We've got to go in that order. You always do the power rule first if we have it. So, raising this to the exponent of 2, we've got to do it as 3 squared, which is 9, x to the first times 2 is x to the second, y to the first times 2 is y to the second. Now we can use the product rule. Nine times 2 is 18. x to the second times x to the fourth is x to the sixth. Y to the second times y to the third is y to the fifth, because product rule we've got to add. Then finish out with the quotient rule. Divide 18 by 6 and you get 3. There's 6 x's on top, there's 8 on the bottom, so there's going to be 2 left over on the bottom, so x squared. There's 5 y's on top and 1 y on the bottom. That means that'll leave us 4 y's for the top. That's pretty much what you do. On your assignment, this is your assignment. I just want you to go through and work all of the odds. You're more than welcome to work the evens as well for extra practice, but I'm going to grade the odds. Hopefully the notes were good and you understand what to do. Good luck on your assignment.